Probably like 30 seconds.
Okay. Oh.
Baby. What's good? What's good, sports world? Y'all know what time it is. It's M&T live at the Apollo, right here in the heart of the city, Jefferson Avenue. You know where I'm at the Apollo Media Center. I'm your host, Andre the Torch Robinson. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Like and share right now, all right? If you're on Facebook, Twitter, if you're on YouTube, make sure you share this out, all right? Got some people here with me today. Notice my co-host is not here, Joe Monster McDowell, but nevertheless, you still got a show to do, all right? Listen, Joe, I know you're having fun at Darien Lake, all right? All them rides that you're going on right now. We got a roller coaster ride of the season coming up with these Buffalo Bills. You should have been here. You should be here. See you next week, though. Now, with that being said, I have to my right been knowing this guy 20 plus years, basketball extraordinaire, CEO now. Phenomenal mind, sports mind, business mind. My guy, Roy Wallace, is in the building. What's good, Roy?
What's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
All right, man.
All right. Now, I'm going to let y'all know this straight up. This week, I invited Bills Mafia to come out on the show, something that I'm going to do more often because I felt like Bills Mafia need to be represented even more in an even bigger light. You know, some folks don't do that. They just want you to support, listen to them. Never want to listen to you. So, with that being said, I'm changing the narrative on that this week and every week from now on. And with that being said, I got my guy to the left right here. I've been knowing for a long time. My guy, Norman Carter. What's good?
What's going on with you?
What's going on?
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Make sure y'all like and share the show. Once again, like I said, this is M&T Live at the Apollo. Get ready for some great sports talk. And first and foremost, it wouldn't be great if I did not start the show off by talking about the Buffalo Bills, all right? Talking about the Buffalo Bills and some things that's been going on lately. So obviously, a lot of you guys heard about the Matt Ariza situation and how, you know, the Bills may have gaffed it here and there with what was going on as far as when did they get him? When did they know about the situation? Why didn't the Bills do this? Or why didn't the Bills cut him earlier? Or why did they draft him? So I'm going to explain some things today for folks that may not know about this. And by the way, it is in an article that I just wrote for Stadium Rant. Shout out to Stadium Rant, Tyler Lamb, and those guys out there. I just wrote an article about, did the Bills vet like a vet? Now, what I mean by that is the vetting process. Now, Roy, I had a conversation with you a little earlier about the vetting process, and you said you didn't know nothing about it, right?
Nothing at all.
Knew nothing about it. So the vetting process, pretty much in a nutshell for the NFL, is when you acquire a talent. That's like me, like you recruiting me because you see talent in me.
Right.
You just not gonna bring me to your camp without, you know, investigating, thoroughly doing a investigation on me, right?
Right.
All right. So the vetting process includes checking the criminal background, checking the academic background, seeing what extracurricular activities this person likes to do. Do we do anything that may be detrimental to the image of a team? You know what I mean? Because this is big baller status, right? When you make the NFL. So what I'm going to say is the vetting process is super important. And a lot of people, casual fans, may ignore it or be like, well, you know, we don't care about that. Yes, you do. You do care. And the reason why you care is because if you care about your team, you care about the culture of the team. You just don't care that the team just go out there and throw passes every day, right? You care that the team is doing what they should, what they need to do to be successful. So the vetting process is as follows, and it is super important, all right? Because we've had now a couple of times where the organization has kind of slipped up on the vetting process. They're not the only organization that has done it. Trust me, i.e. Aaron Hernandez, stands out when it comes down to this vetting process. Do you think the New England Patriots knew he was going to be a murderer? Did anybody know that? I mean, it's hard to figure out sometimes. So read the article because it explains things on that. And with that being said, I'm not going to talk about the vetting process no more. All right? I'm not talking about Matt Ariza no more until something else may come out. All right? We don't know if he's guilty. We don't know if he's innocent. So with that being said, I just want to let you know the root of the problem instead of just going to, well, Matt Ariza, did he do it or did he not do it? No. The root of the problem is the vetting system, vetting process in which NFL teams conduct it. That's the issue, all right? Now, let's talk about these Buffalo Bills. Obviously, the 53-man roster came out. Is it a championship roster to you guys? Is it the championship roster? You think the Bills can win the Super Bowl?
I 100% believe they could win the Super Bowl. I think we could have won one last year, but we ain't going to talk about last year. But I think with the new additions this year, I think in particular Vaughn Miller, he is obviously a key addition. And I think the addition of Vaughn Miller and the stuff he can instill into the younger guys, like the knowledge of Vaughn Miller in those younger bodies, to me, is going to be a huge addition. I'm glad we could get Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer back. I think we're going to be good.
Okay. All right. Roy, your thoughts on the 53-man roster as it stands?
I think the Bills are, they're exceeding expectations year by year. I think they definitely beefed up defensively, and that obviously matters. As long as everybody is healthy when the playoffs come, I think they'll go all the way. I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, here's my questions as far as the 53-man roster as it pertains. And by the way, we do got audience too. So I'm gonna ask the audience, my guy, do you feel like this may be a championship caliber team?
All day, man. Let's go Buffalo.
Okay, all day, let's go Buffalo. So let's dig into it a little bit more. Josh Allen, obviously, you know what Josh Allen has done the last 2 seasons. All right, it's unprecedented, right? Josh Allen now is in a 5th-year situation in which obviously he got his money. So now you have to elevate from what you've done the past 2 seasons. Give me a stat line on what you think Josh Allen will do this season.
I was watching this morning. They were asking, do you think he's going to be the passing yard leader? I don't think he's going to do that. I think that's, you don't want to just immediately put a high statistical stat line on what you want to do. I don't want him to chase stats. I just want to see whatever the best product they can put on the field as a team is, whatever that looks like to be a Super Bowl contender. Even if his stats got to diminish a little bit, that's fine with me.
Okay. Your thoughts on Josh Allen and what he might do this season? What you looking for him to do this season?
Like I said, I think I see him every year since he's been in the league got better. I think definitely coming off of that loss, he definitely feels some type of way. And I think that he definitely, these athletes pay attention to the ratings, and they had him number 13. And I was like, that's crazy. I would have at least had him top 10. Some people got him top 5.
Should have been top.
But top, have him at 13, he know. They be paying attention. So he definitely about to get busy this year.
Who pays attention? Do they really pay attention? Who pays attention?
Josh.
Josh paying attention.
He's definitely paying attention.
All right.
They know. He know.
So it's interesting that Roy brought that up because it's going to go right into the next segment that we was going to talk about on this show, which is the top 100 picks. Obviously, you saw where the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen was. You already stated number 13, right? But there were 4 other Bills as well that made the top 100. Stephon Diggs was number 26. We had Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde.
Yeah, I think they were within 2 of each other.
Both of them 48, 50. I'll look it up for sure to make sure. And if you know the answer to what it is, what number Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde was, well, I mean, you could call. You could bang my line. All right, 716-954-5209. All right, 716-954-5209. Bang my line. Let me know what number was Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde on the top 100. And then we know Vaughn Miller was number 93. Right. All right. So with that being said, Josh Allen, number 13. I need premise. I need y'all to let me know why y'all don't agree with the number 13 selection. And go ahead. I'll let you go first, Norm, on this one.
I mean, just me personally, if we're going by the season, look at the season he had last year. The previous season they set a bar for him, like, okay, he's got to get there. He on his end, he did everything he could do and then some to try to achieve that. You know what I mean? In particular, he had this look in his eye on the sideline. And that look is what I want to see out of my leader. When he had that moment on the sideline trying to fire the team up when he wasn't on the field, he wants it bad. And to me, what he did in that game alone was top 10 material. You know, that's just me personally.
Right.
Statistically, what Josh Allen did the last 2 games in the playoffs has never been done. And in a short amount of time, the work that he's put in, he need more respect put on his name. You know, and I think part of it is because he plays for the Buffalo Bills. If he played for any other team, he'd be top 10, top 5. But because of the Buffalo Bills and the Bills had been on a 20-year drought and all of that played into it. But I was just like, like I said, they're going to, like 10, 15, 20 years from now, they're going to be talking about those back-to-back games. Like, he literally played a perfect game. If you play Madden, you couldn't have did what he did on Madden, let alone he did it in real life against professional athletes.
Okay. Expound more on the performance that makes it unprecedented. You spoke on this performance in the playoffs, never been done. Expound on that a little bit.
I mean, I don't think he had an interception. He pretty much, I mean, yeah, obviously they have turnover on downs, but it was to a minimum. Like, they really didn't punt that much. Like, you know, starting out with that Patriots game, like, that was crazy, you know. Like, you just didn't expect it. Even though time is gone, the team somewhat was still intact, and they made them look like they wasn't even supposed to be there. And then, you know, that game, like that game against Mahomes and them, that's, you know, even though your favorite team lost or your favorite team won, you're still going to watch that game and be like, yo, this was a great game. And if you didn't watch it, I feel bad for you because you was on the end of your seat watching that game because you was like, oh, they did, you was everywhere. You couldn't believe it. I'm
Right.
sitting there with all my cousins and we looking like, yo, this is crazy. They about to go. And then, you know, the heartbreak happened. But I think because of that, I feel like they definitely, like, no, everybody is watching. So they're going to come out and give everything plus some this season to get to the promised land.
All right. Expound a little bit more, Norm, as well on the performance of Josh Allen in the playoffs. I need a little more premise from you.
Okay, for me, you look at it like it was looked at the road to the Super Bowl through the AFC. Was you got to get through Patrick Mahomes, and how do you get to them? You got to be able to go in the shootout with them, and you got to be able to do this, that, and the third in order to beat Patrick Mahomes. In that scenario, we put them into position, and Josh Allen put them in a position to where Mahomes had to do this. He had to pull off this amazing 13-second feat to beat Josh Allen. You know, that's really what it was. Then he had to get the coin toss. Everything had to fall perfectly in Mahomes' favor for him to beat Josh Allen. And then, you know, to me, the tides have turned in that regard.
All right. So I like what is being said by both of you phenomenally. I like that. By the way, like and share this show. All right. If you on Facebook, if you on Twitter, if you on YouTube right now, make sure you like and share the show. I got my guy Roy Wallace in the building and Norman Crowder, you know, represent Bills Mafia to the fullest all day with your boy, the fire starter. Obviously, man, we in the heart of the city talking this show. It's a lot going on around us, and it's a lot surrounding this season, and it's a lot surrounding just this pick right here at number 13. And of course, you heard that right there, which is my time to explain on Josh Allen being number 13. First and foremost, 637 yards in the playoffs, right? 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. They went. I was there. It was one of the coldest playoff games I've ever been to against the Patriots. They dogged the Patriots. They didn't even punt against the Patriots. It was touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And I'm like, damn, is this a party? Is this a real playoff game? Like, I done been to plenty of playoff games, but this one right here, man, it was crazy. I mean, Gabe Davis and them having great games. And then they turn around when it matters the most, and they go to Kansas City. And I'm the person who has said the Buffalo Bills not once had these Chiefs beat the ones that you speak of, Dakota, or Patrick Mahomes, nevertheless. They had him beat twice. Gabe Davis, 4 touchdowns, 200 yards in a game. Gabe Davis broke out, right? Josh Allen did his thing, and they broke out. But the 13 seconds. Now, those 13 seconds tied the game, in which, obviously, once again, we kind of give the Bills a little flack, the defense a little flack, being at the time they were number one. They were the number one defense, even though Trey White wasn't around. The Bills somehow, with Leslie Frazier, was able to still keep a number one defense. And I hear the conversations on, well, they didn't really play anybody. It was fraudulent. Their defense was number one because they didn't play players. But in the playoffs, they performed very well against Mac Jones and that Patriots team, in which people will say, well, he only threw 3 times in the first time he played y'all and he beat y'all. I hear a lot as a sports journalist, sports writer. You hear a lot of the excuses. You can only play who you play. And then when they played the Chiefs, well, the Chiefs put up numbers, obviously, right? Because the Chiefs are coached great. They got Andy Reid, who is would y'all say top 5 coach in this league? Top 5 coach in the league? Currently, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, so you got your top 5 coach, Andy Reid. You got a phenomenal offense, and Patrick Mahomes, who the Buffalo Bills gifted to the Kansas City Chiefs. He gifted them. That 10th overall pick went to Kansas City. They got Patrick Mahomes off the pick. I mean, we did get some great players, and Jermaine Edmonds. We did get Trey White off the pick, whatever the case may be, but nevertheless, you had that happen, right? So now the Bills come in business mode. Josh Allen has now put up 9,000 yards, over 60-plus touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. He was runner-up for the MVP award the year before, right? And so on and so forth. But then he's number 13. And I don't know, man, because obviously the top 100 is created or voted on by players currently, but I got a problem with that. My problem is this: if I'm a player and your team just came in here and beat my tail and they smoked my boots, you think I'm gonna be high on the player that we picking, right? Josh Allen being number 13. I'm not gonna be high on Josh Allen, especially if it's like a divisional game or something. So my question is this: let's break it down, get to the root of it, right? I like to do that. Who are these players that vote these top 100 players? Who are these players? Do you know?
I mean, they're the other top 100 players, if I'm not mistaken. What isn't it compiled like the players themselves vote on it, and they ask like the top tier statistical players. So they got like the people interviewed. You'll see them have votes on who they pick. You know what I mean? With like that.
So current players, right?
Yeah,
Current players, right? So you said that it's the top 100 players.
But
right, that's in the list. So you're saying those 100 players vote on where Josh Allen should go.
If I'm not mistaken, that's how.
Okay. The reason why we had that conversation is I guarantee you there's a lot of people who don't even know that. There's a lot of people who probably be like, oh, such and such and such. Who are these players? So I asked the questions, who are these players? And then now I have a formula, my own formula. And my formula is this: if you are the top 2 at your position, at the positions that matter the most, when we playing football, you talk football, right? So the positions that matter the most obviously would be quarterback, because the quarterback obviously runs that team. Right. He's the face of the team, right? Who is the quarterback throwing to? Because this is a passer's league. This ain't a running league no more. This is not the league where you get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 running backs that have 1,400 yards. So that ain't the case. This is a passer's league. Everything is predicated off somebody's arm. So the wide receivers, right? And then who's protecting the quarterback? The offensive line. All right. Now, who's on the other side? You got your defensive line, the people that's trying to get to the quarterback. Those are important. And the people who are covering those people who making plays, the cornerbacks. To me, those are the 5 most important positions in football, just to me personally. So if we talking about a top 100 list, then the top 2 players at each of those positions should be in your top 10, right? Would you say Josh Allen was top 2 quarterback last year?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you?
Yeah, top 2, yeah.
Would you? Okay, so everybody in agreement, obviously, right? So then how is Josh Allen number 13? Then by my logic, how is Josh Allen number 13?
I mean,
well, then we get to what you said earlier, the bias, right? Somebody said Buffalo bias. This is some bias in Buffalo, because all of the shortcomings Buffalo is at. Like you hear all that about, well, the Bills, they fumbled 4 Super Bowls. The Bills hadn't been to a playoff game in 17 years. The Bills, they lost in 13 seconds to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills lost the AFC Championship game the year before. So you hear all that. I think it's absolutely egregious. I think that the system should change. If we talk about systems, we talked about the vetting system earlier for those who just joining the show, watching the show. We talked about that system. This system needs a change too. There's a lot of systems that need changes. Can't have current players biasly just picking folks that they want to pick. I feel like it's a bias, and especially when it's small market teams, as such as the Buffalo Bills. And that's what they look at the Bills as, a small market team. So I don't agree with that. By the way, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde was 50, by the way. 50. All right. Jordan Poyer was 52. Now here's my question. All right. Now we already got from the equation of top 5, positions in the league, the most important, right? But then the other side of that goes to what? The safeties, right? Because the safeties play in coverage too, right? Would you say the Buffalo Bills got the best safety tandem in the league?
Right.
Is there any other safety tandem in the league that's better than the Buffalo Bills safety tandem in the NFL that you know?
No.
And you're not just saying that because you're Bills Mafia, right?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of biased, but, I still believe it, but I'm still illicitly biased. I'm going to keep it a buck.
Mine isn't right. I don't know.
Okay. So how is Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer at 50 and 52? You have to make this make sense sometimes with situations. I mean, go look at the top 100, get a chance, and you tell me when you look at the first 50 players, is Micah Hyde, is there any player that you would take off that list and put Micah Hyde in that 50? Because that's how I eliminate stuff. Got players that's on the list, take them off. Who would you take off to put Micah Hyde on? All right, Vaughn Miller, last year, Super Bowl champion. He's at number 93, Super Bowl champion, right? Had 8 sacks in, I think it was 7 games that he played with the Rams, and then his playoff performance. Vaughn Miller is at number 93.
You got the tackle to end the game.
So Vaughn Miller is number 93. We talking about Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl champ. Everywhere he go, he win a Super Bowl. It seemed like Vaughn Miller at number 93. I don't agree with that either. I mean, people will say, well, he's washed up. He had Aaron Donald. That's the reason why he was good. My question is, have you watched Vaughn Miller before this? Like, right. I get it. Father time takes precedence sometimes with players, but not in this case. All right. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. Let me ask y'all a question about the running game per se, because, the running backs is important too, I guess, especially if you catch out the backfield. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, and you have obviously Tywan Jones. What do you see this running back room looking like?
I think they're gonna be better this year. I think they're gonna have a lot more freedom to move. I think it's gonna be more respect to our receiving core this year than it's been previously. So with that, that's gonna open some more doors for our running game. And I like Devin Singletary in particular. I like his running style. For his size, he does a lot. For in this league.
Okay.
What makes them dynamic is they're 3 different running backs, 3 different styles. Mm-hmm. So I think depending on what they're trying to do is who they insert. And Moss, power, Singletary, so small, squeeze through through the gap, like. So I think it's and then the new guy. So I think it's interesting to see
James Cook.
Yeah, I think it's real interesting to see. Yeah, I think it's real interesting to see the running game, because like you said not too long ago, how the league is not run dominant like it was in the 90s. Everything's big on. You look at Josh, he gets more yards than some running backs. Because everything's a pass first and all of that. So yeah, I think this year if everyone stays healthy and guys do what they're supposed to do, that run game could definitely be as equal as the throw game.
All right. I like what I heard. Your thoughts on the run game my thoughts on the run game as far as what I look to see this year. Zach Moss will be red zone runner, goal line runner, power runner, third down runner. Devin Singletary will be the guy, first down, second down, using play action. James Cook will be the guy they use out the backfield, catching passes. Fifth weapon or sixth, depending on if they go spread offense, 5 wide receivers, and plus, I see him being that guy. So they do have a dynamic 3-headed monster, which is a lot of what the league is trying to predicate themselves on as far as, having a three-back system. Trying to think of the definition of what they call that. It's not just 3-back system. But I'll think about it. It'll come back to me in a second. But speaking on which we talk about receiving out the backfield, I need to talk about Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs. I got to talk about Stephon Diggs, and he was number 26 on the top 100. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. You have Little Dirty, Isaiah McKenzie, Khalil Shakur. You got Jake Kumaro. What's your thoughts on this wide receiving room? And did the Bills leave anybody out that probably should be on the squad?
I mean, what our receiving core is so dynamic. It's like one of those situations where somebody got to get left out. It's so much talent. Like on our end with Buffalo, he had the breakout playoff season, obviously the breakout game and all that, but for here in Buffalo, like we saw that before it happened. The world just got to see it. Diggs, yes, statistically he had a down slope in the season last year compared to the previous year. But that comes with once you do stuff, there's gonna be more pressure on you. And that's what I'm saying. Like with Gabe Davis having a breakout year, it's gonna be a little more, he's gonna have some more eyes on him, which is gonna open up some more doors for Diggs. I like the one new receiver he had. I can't remember. He was number 10 in the preseason.
Khalil Shakur.
Yeah, him. I like him a lot. But I really think it's going to be good things to come for us this season. All
right. Well, let me ask this question. Roy, your thoughts on the receiving core?
To piggyback off what he said, I think, adding new blood, and then, like you said, with Stephon, I feel like he could have did a little bit more, but obviously it's not on him. You're getting doubled and tripled and all that different stuff. So, but they have to figure out to get more plays to free him up, even for a split second.
Right.
He's a good preseason performer, playoffs. I don't think he necessarily didn't, some people say he didn't perform, and I was like, I disagree with that. If you looked at the coverage, it wasn't like he was getting covered one-on-one. They was jamming him. They was doing a lot of different stuff to make it very difficult for him to get the ball. But 53-man roster, preseason is a lot more guys. Somebody got to go. They can't keep everybody. So I think their team slightly upgraded. Besides defensively, offensively, they got a few more weapons and a few question marks, but they obviously got a good system over there. So they picking guys that they feel could help them get to where they want to get in the end, which is the Super Bowl.
All right. Well, let's put that theory to the test. You guys talked about wide receivers. Let's put the theory to the test. I'm going to name a receiver. You're going to tell me where they should be on the depth chart, 1 through 7, because obviously the Bills got 7, right? All right. I'm not going to pick Gabe Davis or Stephon Diggs. We know that's 1 and 2. All right.
So this will be
3 through 7, because this is where the meat and potatoes is at. I call it the meat and potatoes of the room. Jameson Crowder. Crickets. Yo, it's kind of silent in here. Jameson Crowder. Come on. Jameson Crowder. Where is he at on this depth chart? Because let me let you know that Marquez Stevenson is not on here. Gentry is not on here no more. Isaiah Hodgins went to the practice squad. So, I mean, it's y'all admitted to say Jameson Crowder. I mean, they brought him in, right? He's supposed to be the guy. They bringing him in, right?
3.
Oh, you got him at 3? So Lil Dirty not in the slot? He not playing the slot, Roy?
Only time to tell, man.
That's why it's tough.
Man, come on, man. Listen,
Season, come on, man.
We talk about organizational moves and organizational decisions on this show a lot too. And this was one of these organizational moments right here. Y'all having a hard time.
Gotta wait till the season start, man.
Jameson Crowder,
listen, it's tough. Well, you gotta see what you do for us, how you fit with us. You know what I mean? You know, like we gotta see. You know,
you ain't seen nothing in training camp or preseason
I feel like that's different when you're playing against your own guys. Everybody knows your habits and tendencies. When you playing against guys who don't know, that's a whole nother ballgame. Plus, it's different when you practicing. It's different from when you playing the game. The adrenaline pump different. The ball might not come your way. Different circumstances. Guy might get hurt. You know, you never know. So that's why it's hard to judge 3 through 7 because you don't know. Guy might get cut. Guy might get sick. As we see all the time, they got the turf. I think, in my opinion, which is hurting everybody, the turf, because your stop and go is not the same as when you playing on grass. That turf is, I believe that's 80% of why guys get hurt playing on turf.
All right. Khalil Shakur.
Okay, you know.
That's an easier one. That's an easier one.
That's your guy.
It's back, but we ain't seen nothing. But, you know, like I didn't. Just me personally. I leave room. I put him at 4 or 5. You know.
Okay.
But I like what I saw. I see a lot of potential in what I saw. But you clearly don't have no. It's the same thing. You don't know. But based on what my personal ceiling for him is, you know, I see 4 or 5. Not ceiling, but with the potential is right now.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
All right. 4 or 5.
I think that's fair.
All right. 4 or 5. So y'all kind of flanked on Crowder, right? A little dirty.
I mean,
and he going to 6.
Dang. Yeah.
What? Wait a minute.
Tough,
whoa, wait a minute.
It's tough.
Wait a minute.
It's tough.
Isaiah McKenzie. Did you say 6? Nah, you playing right. that's got to be you playing right. 3. You hear this normally?
With the interchangeable 4 or 5,
right.
Him, you know, I put it flip flop him.
What about him at 4 and then Shakur at 5?
Yeah. With respect to McKenzie, yeah. You know, just because we didn't see what he could do, Edgar ain't showed us nothing yet.
So wait a minute. See, this is why I do this. This is hilarious. So y'all interchanging the 4 or 5 on the last 2 picks, right?
Right.
But I said Jameson Crowder, the first one, and y'all told me y'all don't know. So you do know.
Okay, you could kind of say that, but listen, though, right? I just don't know. Like, all I seen was Stevenson is what he can do with the Bills, right? Not Stevenson.
Shakur or Jameson. Which one are you talking
about? Number 10.
Shakur.
Yeah, I've seen with him. I like what I've seen with him. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a little dirty. We got a whole portfolio of what he can do for us. You know what I mean, and how he fits. You know, I haven't seen enough yet to speak on that solid 3 spot. Like, okay, bro, you got it. You know.
Okay, so we leaving that 3 spot open.
Yeah.
So we interchanging 4 and 5, definitely. Leaving the 3 open a little bit for somebody in 4 and 5 maybe to come in and take 3 and maybe.
Yeah. And we've seen that could very well happen.
It very well could. Because I'm gonna be honest.
Adjustments.
So if it's me, I have obviously 1 and 2. We know who 1 and 2 is. 3 would be Little Dirty because of what we've seen him do in the past. Because of the portfolio, because of the continuity, I'm putting him at 3. They paid him a contract for him to be the number 3. You see what I'm saying? He's not just the gadget guy anymore. He put up numbers at the end of the season, which gave Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane the idea that there is some potential with him. So use him more often in the offense. So I'm putting him at 3. Jameson Crowder, we have a portfolio on him because we've seen him what he did with other teams, with the Jets and other teams that he's done. But does the continuity fit a little older Jameson Crowder coming into the system being at number 4? Especially with what you saw Khalil Shakur do in the preseason. I mean, I see him make every catch that you can make, tiptoe catches. He made catches in the slant. He made catches on the post and go. He made catches in the post out. Those things are important. The route trees is important. So I add that into the situation, and I will put Khalil Shakur right there I'm going to be honest, I would put him at number 4. I would have him at number 4 and Jameson Crowder at number 5. And that's just for the simple fact that I got to see, like you said, not having enough, what you saw in the preseason Now let me see what your reps like in the NFL. We know what Jameson Crowder can do. We've seen him at his ceiling. So I'm putting Jameson Crowder at 5. I need to see what Khalil could do in that 4 wide receiver, that 10, 11 personnel that the Bills have. They like to run a lot. I need to see that, the spread offense stuff. I need to see it. All right, put him in the other slot. Look what he could do. All right, Crowder at 5. 6, Krumero. I think Krumero in this case got the fan favorite. You've been in Green Bay. You've been in Buffalo. They like you. You see, we've seen what Krumero can do here and there, the little portfolio. I think Isaiah Hodgins probably should have made number 6, should have probably been up there. I think Krumero, just for the fact that they have him on a salary that, kind of favors him to play on the team. I felt like that's part of the reason why he's still on the team. He made a couple catches, but I don't think it was anything that was more special than what Isaiah Hodgins did, who's on the practice squad. So I'm putting Isaiah Hodgins at 6 and Krumero at 7, and maybe even an odd man out, because obviously the Bills brought in Tavon Austin too, but Tavon Austin not even on the team now, right? So, all right. Just wanted to, get your heads buzzing about how you feel about that too. Because, again, we got Bills Mafia in the building, and we talking Bills talk right here, Apollo Media Center. That's where we at. This is M&T Live at the Apollo with your boy, fire starter Andre the Torch Robinson. Talk about the defense a little bit before we get into these week 1 picks, because it's about to get important. It's about to get real. Thursday is the beginning of the football season. So we should talk about this defense. In general, as a whole, what's your thoughts on the defense? Where do you think that they need to improve? And what do they have now that will, impact the game on Thursday so that the Buffalo Bills get a win on Thursday? I'll ask both of you guys that.
Some improvement. I think they could have used some last season to this season. Is like in those scenarios when the quarterbacks roll out, just a little bit more speed on those edges to get to him so he don't get that angle, So, and it just, I think we got Vaughn with that. Even if he physically lost a step, he got the mental with it to where he'd beat that physical, and he'd instill that into those younger guys. So I think this year we're going to do a lot better with that. I'm optimistic about, honestly, our cornerback room. I think even with Trey White being out last year, the fact that we was able to hold it down as much as we did without him and with him coming back, hopefully sometime soon this season. But, the recovery goes how it goes, But I think when he comes back, we're going to be all around solid again,
Okay. Your thoughts on Vaughn Miller trying to bring Joe Hayden into this culture, Bills culture, and talk about the defense?
Well, Bills culture, everybody wants to be a part of the Bills culture, I think, and it's refreshing being in Buffalo, being on the drought for so long, being the laughing stock of the team. Everybody wants to be a part of it. And it's, if you're 30 or 40 plus, the fans started in the 90s because, those Super Bowl years in that 90s made people feel some type of way. And I feel like for the new generation, that energy is coming back, where this generation, that if you're 20-something years old or if you're a teenager, now you're winning, and you're seeing it. But you just overall the energy and how it feels like, you see how excited guys was that a few guys left and then they signed and came back, and just how happy they was. And then they adding OBJ, and he added talking about coming to Buffalo and all that. It's like people, this is the place to be. Little small low market city team. People want to come and be a part of what's going on because they see what's going to happen. High is like every year they're getting better and better. You don't really see a lot of teams. Some teams have a ceiling, whereas with the Bills, it's scary because they can actually get better, and they are getting better, and they're adding these small little pieces to get better. And in terms of defensively, they're gonna get at it this year. I think I definitely see a lot more sacks, but a lot more stops because this ain't Madden. You're not gonna be able to tackle somebody every single play, but getting a stop matters. Having someone second guess and having Vaughn on that line, and then like he was saying, Norm was saying, getting these young dudes, him being a champion, that's different too. I don't think the Bills have ever had that. I could be wrong, but having a champion come here and he's not washed. I think he got 3-4 more solid years left, at least 3 top, where you got a champion that's coming here and he's going to show you and tell you how to do it because he did it that way, and that's what got him, along with other factors, to become a champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the acquirement of Vaughn Miller was super important, especially a veteran that he is, wily veteran as he is. We brought in Boogie Bash from Greg Rousseau and others. I think he's a major help to that. He brings a pass rushing element, obviously, that the Bills definitely going to need, especially if you're trying to beat Patrick Mahomes. One Patrick Mahomes. All right. Defense. Wise, I think Christian Benford has been pretty good. You talked about the secondary earlier. Talked about that. I think that's going to be important, especially when Trey White is at least going to miss 4 weeks because he's on the PUP list. So, those first 4 games is going to be important. And the Bills got an interesting schedule.
The schedule ain't no joke.
All right. They got an interesting schedule in which they play the first 2 games, Rams, and then Tennessee on Monday night. We will be there, by the way. Shout out to everybody who supports and tunes in, letting y'all know right now. Rise Up Family, Challenger News, Waffle Sports, Public Access will be in the building Monday for the Tennessee game. That's going to be real interesting, real dope game. See Derrick Henry come here with Ryan Tannehill coming here.
He our size.
Right.
That's a big dude, man.
Ryan Tannehill.
Running back?
Yeah. Ryan Tannehill and them coming here, which is going to be important. I think the linebacker position, we talked about Jermaine Edmonds. We talked about Jermaine Edmonds a lot. Your thoughts on Jermaine Edmonds?
I mean, like the same way he spoke on like Derrick Henry size, when he played guys like us, you got, it's not like you just bullying not everybody else, but other guys. We got a guy like Jermaine Edmonds, just as big as you, ready to hit as hard as you just to meet you. And the stuff like that is where, just as good as our secondary is, you would think, okay, they got the secondary, we're going to run on them. No, we got guys like outside of the front guys, we got guys like Jermaine Edmonds, Matt Milano waiting to hit you and meet you right then and there.
All right. Anybody from that linebacking core that stood out to you in this offseason?
Nah, let Roy go.
I'll give you a guy to watch. I think he's somebody you should watch is Baylon Spector, the 7th round pick from Clemson.
You know what? Being, point intended, the underdog.
Right.
I like to see, because analytics rules sports now, but I say it rules and it ruins, because a lot of teams, to me, the successful teams are actually watching the guys. Bill Belichick is going into these places with hoodies on and he's way in the back, he's watching. Whereas other teams, they might be watching, but analytics is the biggest problem I have with sports, because you look at a guy on the depth chart, like you said, number 7, whatever, then he has a breakout season. And, for me being an athlete, going to a smaller school, there's a lot of guys in NBA, NFL history, NHL that didn't go to super big schools that became, Tom Brady, last pick in the draft. Like, you know what I mean? Right. It's all about, so yeah, I think that'll definitely be interesting to watch him. I like the guy who's not really, because that's the guy that, they obviously seen something in him. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the league is like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, you're going to know who this guy is when it's said and done. So I like to watch the guys who really aren't that known, didn't come in from a super big school and all that stuff. I think that makes it, doper to see their story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in agreement with that. Being a 7th round pick, the expectation for a 7th round pick is always different from a 1st rounder, 2nd round pick, obviously. But then once again, like Tom Brady, you get some of these 7th round picks who they do better than some of these 1st round picks. Man, I got to tune in for some of these shows because we talk about some of these 1st round picks. And some of these, yeah,
just because where you drafted at, that don't mean nothing. That's just you getting here. This is where the work got to start. To me, it's a financial thing, really. Outside of finances, it really don't mean nothing.
I mean, when you got guys like Daniel Jones who go in the 1st round, pick 6, or you got people like Sam DiArno, Baker Mayfield, and some other.
It's cases where it obviously matters.
Yo, listen, shout out to the Rise Up family. Definitely for sure, man. We be having shows every Monday night. We have Monday Night Madness podcast show in which we talk a lot about these draft picks. Baker Mayfield definitely comes up a lot, and just Roy,
phenomenal college player.
Roy got me dying laughing over here because Baker Mayfield definitely be a discussion topic when it comes down to busts. Definitely. On Wednesdays, I come here with Young Buffalo and do a show in itself right here. It's new. I haven't put it out fully yet, man, but it's a good show. We do that on Thursdays. We do Rise Up Unlimited, the radio show, which is on WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. Shout out to Angelita Davis and David Allen for their phenomenal platform that they allow us to use on Twitch, Spreaker, and all other social media platforms. And then my guy Marcus the Alphabets does a Alphabets football talk show, which he did last night. Phenomenal show. I'm putting that out there right now. Phenomenal show. He had the incredible Meg on there, who is a beat writer for the Indianapolis Colts. Phenomenal show, by the way. And we got the Buffalo Bills edition of Rise Up Early every Sunday, 10 a.m. All right? Podcast show every Sunday, 10 a.m. We talk, we get down for sports talk for sure. Now, with that being said, Bills, week 1, coming up. Got the schedule right here in my face. The Bills play the Rams, obviously. I want to know what y'all guys' thoughts on this game is. Predictions, I need it. Let's go.
I mean, both biasedly and unbiasedly, I got us coming out on top. But I don't see it being an easy win. I think it's going to be a early test of seeing where it is. You hear the hype, you hear the expectations, and this is going to be a reality check. You know, you got the Super Bowl champions. Yeah, they don't got Vaughn, you got him, and that's kind of like a tide in your favor. But it's still not going to be an easy win or nothing like that. And I think that in particular, you get to watch the ceremony. You get to watch them get their rings and all that. And I think that's going to be a huge motivational factor for the Bills after just the salty taste they have in their mouth right now from the last 2 seasons in particular, and just to watch the "it should be me" moment and you feel like it should be you. I think they're going to take all that out, and it's going to be a higher fought win, but I think we're going to win on that week 1.
Your thoughts?
I think it's going to be, in the last 10 years, there hasn't been, my opinion, more of an anticipated or unanticipated opener for the NFL. You know, obviously they open up with the Super Bowl champs, but the fact that one player used to play for the championship team playing against, you know, I think this is going to be like a new rivalry. I like new rivalries. You know, we saw the old rivalries of teams, but now we see, and the Bills got back-to-back, to me, rivalry games. But this is going to be, like, besides we love football, it's been gone for so long, but the opener, and yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I think that they're both gonna throw 300 plus. I think Josh slightly edges because Matty Ice is cold. I like Matty Ice.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah, but I think he definitely in terms of statistics, I think it's gonna be a close game, like he was saying. It's definitely not gonna be no blowout either way. But I think guys gonna have to earn every single yard, every single touchdown. I think it's going to be, you know, some plays that, you know, it's just going to be really interesting, and it's going to be super dope. And it's like, if you're not watching that game Thursday, you're going to be feeling sick if you didn't, because it's definitely going to be fireworks. Definitely, you know, I mean, obviously ain't no animosity with, you know, Vaughn leaving, but I just think that dynamic of, you know, him, you know, you see that in other sports, in the NBA and baseball, stuff like that. Yeah. But not in the NFL. So I think in the last 10 years for a season opener, wow. Like that's, all eyes will be glued on the TV that night.
Speaking of a storyline, obviously, Aaron Donald is one of the storylines. Did not get suspended for swinging helmets at Bengals players during a joint practice. Your thoughts on that and as it pertains to the game?
I mean, not necessarily saying what he did was right, but it's practice. I think it kind of it's still wrong, but it kind of weighs differently. Practice is like a like stuff goes on in practice. This is where you're gonna be the ugliest of the ugly because you working the kinks out in practice on both ends. You know, it's gonna be high frustration.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like this at joint practice, not helmet swinging, but it's always tension. It's always fighting, and I just think it should be. If it was some punishment, maybe a hefty fine, but suspending somebody for something that's gonna be happen that happened at practice, it seems a little like an overreach a little bit. You know,
practice, man. We talking about I think that's excessive. Guys battle it all the time, and like that's super dangerous. Them helmets protect dudes, you know, and you tried to like hit somebody with it. That's a little excessive. The suspension part, I think they should win them pockets though.
Yeah, for hefty fine.
But I couldn't believe, you know, certain guys got a certain reputation, you know, and it's like I don't think that was cool. You know, even when you see the Bills, I mean, obviously it wasn't his teammates. You see that all the time. Guys go at it when they're in practice and stuff. Right. You know, I think that was wrong that he definitely did that. But the intensity level, you know, some guys want to win more than others. I think he could have handled that situation completely.
Yeah, absolutely. Different. Hopefully he learned from it.
Man, I ain't trying to hear all. I can't believe. See, you know what? We went 50 minutes into a show and did not have one debate. We just been talking sports. It's been real cool. But guess what? Y'all making me want to turn the fire up a little bit on the show now. I can't believe y'all. Don't look at it. Do you see this guy? You hear these two? They do it. Oh, it was practice. It was practice. It shouldn't. Man, please. Myles Garrett got suspended 8 games for taking off Mason Rudolph's helmet and hitting him over the head with it. I don't care if it's practice or not, man. You get paid money to be a professional, a straight professional. I don't care if it's practice. I don't care. You took off the helmets and you swung them, man. You saw what happened to Myles Garrett. So it ain't like you ain't see this already. And on top of that, you are a repeat offender. You know, you do have some other cases in the past that look very suspicious, you know, choking players out, this, that, and the third. I mean, come on, man. You over here in practice acting a fool. You're supposed to be the example. You're 3-time defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald, Super Bowl champion, Aaron Donald. This guy, you're supposed to have the utmost professionalism. And you didn't. You beat the Bengals. I mean, what more did you want? Here's the other thing. As much as I say all that, we talk about processes, right? We talk about things people do and critical thinking. Do you think it was smart for the NFL to put the Bengals with the Rams in a joint practice right after the Bengals just got beat in the Super Bowl? Think that was a smart idea? Yeah, anybody think that was a smart idea? The dumbest idea in the world.
They knew what they was doing.
Right, it was dumb. All right, but as it pertains to Aaron Donald, they definitely should have hit them pockets. For sure, I'm one to think that he should have got suspended, and here's why. It's not just because it was practice. If it was just okay, it's practice, and that's the only narrative that we could go by, I'd have been like, okay, hit his pockets for a couple million and let it go, right? But what precedence does this set for anybody else who's in practice now?
We could just do what he did and get away with it.
Oh, it's practice. By the way, for those who do not know, the NFL does not suspend or do anything when it comes to practices in the offseason. They have nothing to do with it. They will not hand down a suspension. If it's training camp, none of that is the team's decision. Let's talk about the integrity of the league, right? The NFL literally says, nope, we don't want nothing to do with it. You can hit somebody over the head. You play in our league. It's y'all practice. You deal with it, right? We ain't going to do nothing. So that to me speaks volumes. It sets the precedence that if me, you, and Roy was practicing against some people and, one of them pissed us off, we could take off our helmets, smack them over the head, and what's going to happen? What, the team going to let us go? No, we too valuable for the team. You know, week 1 against the Bills, right? We can't have Aaron Donald sitting on the bench. So money, right? We need them ratings, man. We in LA. We need the ratings. Aaron Donald's got to play.
I mean, the league could just start trying to, and that's in that case, even if the league tried to keep their hands off it as much as they can, they would just find the teams just as equally amount of hefty, you know, like, okay, you going to keep allowing your players to do this. Every time they do this, we going to find them and we going to find you the same, double if not more. And then when the teams start getting hit in their pockets, man, y'all got to cool up, man. You know what I mean?
Right, before we start suspending you.
The team might have did or might be doing something we don't know about.
Oh, it's been a while. I'm gonna be honest,
I mean,
Roy.
Something could have happened. No, we don't know that.
Right. I wish we did know. Shoot, I mean, could they tell y'all, the people who's watching this game, who love the game, something? Can't tell you something? Because I mean, he playing. I mean, Thursday is coming up. You ain't heard nothing.
I think something definitely would have happened more if he would have hit him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so
might get in jail for that.
I mean, it's literally
assault.
Right, it's literally assault. I mean, me, you, and them ain't getting away with that.
What he did was attempted assault.
I mean, we ain't getting away with attempted assault. So I do have the Bills winning this game. It's going to be really, really close. I think it's going to be a shootout. I mean, you got two teams, high-powered offenses. I think whoever's defense is better, which I think the Bills' defense is better at this point, even though they have Aaron Donald. The Bills have a plethora of defensive weapons. I mean, you got Greg Rousseau on one side, Boogie Basham, who's looking good. You got Vaughn Miller is looking good. You got Jordan Phillips anchoring now again. We all know what Jordan Phillips did when he was here the last time, 9.5 sacks. Shaq Lawson, 7 sacks plus in this system. So we got a lot of great weapons here with the Buffalo Bills organization. I think that carries them to the victory. I think it'll be a field goal victory. I think the Bills squander and squash all that championship ring ceremony stuff that you're gonna see. And Vaughn Miller's got to be
party.
Vaughn Miller go get his ring and get back to the locker room.
Yeah, everybody feel like it's the game that should have been. You know, the Super Bowl that should have been. This is a what if. You know, you kind of halfway get your answer.
Right, absolutely. So, I got the Bills in this one. We was gonna pick some picks. We was gonna do some picks, but we only got like 4 or 5 minutes left in the show to do that. I want to go over a couple of things real quick. What's going on in the sports world right now, as we know it? College football is here too. College football. For those who watch college football, you got college football fans?
No. I watched it when Lamar was there. That's pretty much.
Oh, when Lamar, you hear it? When Lamar,
he was electrifying. He was literally must. I had to see that. You know
so then I got a question: why did Lamar Jackson go 31st in the draft?
That it was shocking to me. Yeah, I mean, really, I didn't expect him to go that low.
Analytics.
Analytics, as in.
I mean, coming out, he wasn't that. I know he wasn't that obviously that high of a pick. I agree, he shouldn't have been that low.
Yeah.
But I think analytics plays a part into that. Like I was saying before, they definitely use analytics for everything now. I mean, when I see the depth chart and they be talking about players and stuff like that, and it's like, do I actually like watch it, or they look at statistics? That's how they base performance. Obviously, goes a lot into it, but I believe it was performance and more so analytics to why he got drafted.
So analytics versus the eye test is what we have going on. So that's all right. I could respect that. With that being said, I definitely can respect the fact that Lamar Jackson went 31st. Because to be honest with you, if he didn't go 31st, where would he have went? Probably top 5, 7, and then he would have caught what, Baker Mayfield's pick or Sam Darnold's pick. Yeah, imagine him being on a different team than the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, it all looked like it worked out good for him and all that.
He literally changed that franchise. No. Literally. They've always been a defensive franchise, and now you got this triple threat quarterback, and they got good defense. You like, damn. Yeah. Like I watch them whenever they play. I watch them because it's like, I know it's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be a good game. They're not going to get smoked. Like they bring in the pain.
Yeah, I really want to go down there for that game and see that. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Right. College football. Obviously, this game is delayed. Texas A&M, 6th ranked Texas A&M, 17-0 on Sam Houston. This is week 1 of college football. We got NC State 21-14 right now over East Carolina. They're 13th ranked team in the nation. Michigan, 8th ranked team in the nation, 44-7 over Colorado State right now. Beat down. It's some great games going on tonight too. Later on today too. This is gonna be a fun film. It feels good to have all the sports back, man. You got all these wrestling. You got the wrestling going on, the pay-per-views going on. You got college football. You got NFL going on. It's good to be back, man. Good to be back. Have all these sports back in the air. Number 3 ranked Georgia the champs, number 3, against Oregon today, 3:30. That's going to be a hell of a game right there. Oklahoma against UTEP at 3:30 as well. Oklahoma 9th ranked will be playing UTEP. Arkansas, whoa, Pig Suey against Cincinnati. 3:30 game, 19th ranked versus 23 ranked. Miami, 16th ranked, will be playing Bethune. We got Ole Miss against Troy, USC versus Rice, Baylor versus Albany. We got, Florida is not ranked. Let's start the season. SEC, Florida Gators not ranked against Utah, number 7 Utah. Wisconsin and Illinois State. Kentucky against Miami of Ohio. Utah State versus Alabama, number 1 Alabama. Here we go with this bias. I swear. Listen, y'all are dirty for that. The Georgia Bulldogs just won the championship, man. Why they not number 1? Why? Because Nick Saban is the coach over there at Alabama. They got to stop doing that. That annoys me.
Yes, that's probably why I couldn't get it. It's kind of confusing to me how they did that.
The selection. Now, again, another thing that needs to be worked on, the selection, man. If you win the championship, you should be number 1. Number 2, Ohio State versus number 5, Notre Dame tonight. That's going to be a hell of a game right there.
Watch that one.
That's going to be a hell of a
between some UFC fights.
Right. In between UFC fights tonight, too. Obviously, ESPN Plus got those UFC fights going on. And then in the headlines, too, Serena Williams lost yesterday.
Yeah.
Sad to see. She lost yesterday. I want her to get 24.
An illustrious career, man. She just, Serena, boy.
One of the best athletes of all time.
I never watched tennis before Serena Williams. I only watched it because she played like Tiger with golf.
No,
I only watched golf because of Tiger. Like, revolutionary. Those come along every 20, 30 years.
Absolutely. I just...
And she dominated, boy. They hated her for so long.
Yes, they did.
For real.
And she was, man, like, even when she won that, the first match, I was like, wow, Yeah, obviously, sports are a young person's game, but to see people hang, for her to dominate for so long, over damn near 2 decades, like, that's crazy. Ever since she was a kid, she was literally like a teenager whooping up on these grown-ups.
Yeah, Serena Williams, to me, is the greatest tennis player of all time, no matter how you want to put it. You could talk about the Martina Navratilova, the Steffi Grafs. You can talk about them, but that don't matter to me. I don't care. Serena, 23 championships. This lady literally played tennis while pregnant, beating players while pregnant. I don't know how you pull that off as an athlete. So with that being said, this has been a phenomenal show. All right. Hour goes by real quick when you talking sports. My guy, Norman Carter, in the building. Roy Wallace in the building. I appreciate y'all coming on. And by the way, don't let this be the last time y'all come. Y'all always invited, always welcome. This is a place of positivity. You know what we do, Rise Up Family. Shout out to Apollo Media Center. Thank you again for having us. There's a lot going on here in the heart of the city. They got block club parties going on outside. Parade going on outside for the veterans right now. Listen, sports is back. The fullness thereof is back, all right? And you know who's going to cover it. Right here, Rise Up Family, Challenger News, Power 96.5, Public Access Television. And shout out to Stadium Rant again. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Go read that article. Is the Bills vetting like vets? And then I got an article coming up about the top 100. We discussed it earlier, Josh Allen and them. I got an article in the works right now. It'll be coming out later on in the week. So read that as well and support my guy here. Yo, tell them real quick before you go, what's going on with you and what you're doing?
Yeah, so I have a custom clothing line, as well as apparel, as well as sporting goods called Underdog. I'm on all social media platforms, UHNDERDOWG. And it's an acronym. It breaks down. I have one of my definition hoodies on, and it breaks down what underdog means. And it's not the traditional word in itself. It's similar to it, but all of us have an underdog, but we could also do things that is different from what everyone else is doing, which is, like I said, is similar to being counted out and overlooked but also, my mindset and my brand is to go in a different direction. So if you need any custom apparel as well as sporting goods, UHNDERDOWG, and I'm on all social media platforms.
Fact. My guy Norm.
Man, just thanks for having me here, man. Be sure to be back sometime, man, for real.
No doubt.
Yeah, we're going to have to come back.
My guy, definitely. Monster should be back next week as well. Listen, you on the Superman right now while we Superman in the studio. All right, gotta see you next week, man. We got Bills Mafia in the building. All right, and it's only gonna get bigger. It's only gonna get bigger from here. So make sure y'all tune in, support. Don't be a hater. All right, don't be a hater. Peace.